Coming in at number 85, we have New York Giants cornerback James Bradberry, who is just another really tough guy to rank, right? He's somebody that, if this was a top 100 performers of 2020 list based solely off their play last season, I think it's fair to say he would pretty easily be in the top 50, maybe even higher, just considering how special his first year with the Giants was. However, when that's not what this list is, and instead, I'm ranking who are the top 100 guys that I just have the most confidence in terms of their specific skills and abilities, you have to consider more than just last season. And, in all fairness, I don't think anybody besides Dave Gettleman really was looking at his tenure in Carolina and saying that they saw a shutdown, number one, lockdown type cornerback that they wanted to have anchoring the back end of their defense for years to come. And in that regard, it's kind of a balancing act, right? How much confidence can you put in a guy that's had 4 years of, I don't want to say bad, but just pretty solid play, right? For one team, changes locations, and now all of a sudden looks to be elite, really out of nowhere. For me, with him at 85, I think I just need to see a little bit more and, really be convinced this upcoming season that 2020 last year wasn't just a fluke, instead truly was a new and improved James Bradberry on the Giants defense. But with that being said, let's hop into the film and see just what it was that made James so effective in 2020 that made him worthy of a spot on my list. If I had to point to one physical attribute and attribute that to Bradberry's success as of late, I would have to look at his quickness and change of direction ability. As when it comes to just across the league, everybody lined up, who's able to plant the foot in the ground and accelerate faster, bursting towards their target, I think Bradberry is towards the top of that list, right? As so many of these passes, they look pretty open. Money Mitch saw it there, but Bradberry's just able to plant the foot in the ground and converge on the ball to make a play. It's really special, and I think that elite foot quickness really does him wonders in terms of his man coverage ability. We're talking about a guy who is very proficient in terms of an ability to mirror and match what these opposing wide receivers are doing, has a very good sense of anticipating their route trees. You saw it on that out route there. You see it on this streak here. Look at how he's not only able to stay stride for stride right in the hip pocket of Allen Robinson, but then, at that catch point downfield, able to rip the ball away, somehow staying in bounds and flipping the field for the Giants, right? Getting a turnover there. Really just phenomenal stuff that I don't know if we necessarily saw out of Bradberry in Carolina, and you're going to kind of see it again here on this out route by AJ Green. Look at how it just looks like Bradberry knows what's coming, In that regard, I would say incredibly impressive, and really what I would say began to set him apart last season. I think similarly, I was kind of talking about his reactionary quickness in man coverage. I think it's there in zone coverage as well to a degree. He's definitely better in man than zone, I would say, but he's still very solid at, recognizing who's entering my zone, who's exiting, who do I need to be worried about as he's keeping an eye on the QB, an eye on the wide receiver, and again, still showing off that quickness as he's able to converge down onto the target, bat away that pass, and ultimately allow a tipped INT for his teammate. Just stuff like that, I think, that really makes Bradberry, at least did make him so dangerous to last year. As I said, we'll be interested to see if it continues into 2021. I would say in terms of the number one thing that set him apart, though, it would be his ball skills. We're talking about a guy that had 18 pass deflections last year, 3 INTs, just one of the best at the catch point, no question. That right there is not only a great example of, elite hand-eye coordination and timing on that jump, but also phenomenal body control as well. It's really tough to go up there and not only make the play, but also stay in bounds on the back end, but Bradberry's able to do it, right? You're going to see, again, just a great job converging on this in route here by this 49ers receiver, but again, look at the hand-eye coordination and timing as he bats the ball away and ultimately makes a play and forcing another down for this Giants D. Just great stuff, and again, why I'd say he looked like, a top 5 corner last season. And last but not least, I did want to touch on his recovery speed because, it's less so the speed aspect of it, right? He ran a 4.5 at the combine. He's not necessarily some freak athlete in that regard, but he shows off just an extreme willingness to sell out on these routes, to do whatever it is that he can to not allow a completion, right? And that's why I think so many of these, that's a wide open touchdown against probably 98% of the corners in the league. Against Bradberry, he's able to just recover quick enough to bat it away. I think that similar willingness persists in him as a run defender as well. I'm not going to say he's a top 5 run defending cornerback by any means, but he's solid enough, right, to help funnel stuff back inside to the Leonard Williams and Blake Martinez's and those sorts of guys, right? You know, Jabril Peppers, he's got to love playing with a guy like Bradberry because he's at least willing to go out there and do his part in terms of defending the run. But with that being said, in conclusion, I like to conclude these videos by saying just what it is that I think he needs to do better this upcoming season to jump up the list. And I don't actually think he needs to do anything better. I think he just needs to do it again, right? Just as I was saying in the intro, show me that last year wasn't just a fluke and prove to me that you are in fact a top 5 guy in the league, because he certainly played like one last season. I'll be incredibly interested in keeping an eye on him this year to see if he's able to do the same. But with that being said, if you want to keep an eye on me, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe just so you're in the loop with my future uploads. Because for today, I'm mic'd up, now I'm mic'ing out. Peace, guys. I'll see you next time.